Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 423 of the Maritime Paintball Podcast. My name is Brad Odell, and with me, as always, is...
Because we're fitting tonight in, your inclusive king of paintball, Thomas Burke. And before you adjust your mic, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some business done because I'm going to let Brad get on his soapbox. Brad's going to say some things.
No, we already said it's not a soapbox. I'm getting on my paintball bunker. I'm getting on my
paintball skids
on my pallet.
Your PRZ pallet.
The
PRZ pallet.
If I'd lived closer, I would have went and bought that pallet from.
I think PRZ. You blew it up. Now, let's be clear that Moncton Paintball is my home field, and that tomorrow night they're having a night game. 25 floodlights. That place looks like a stadium right now. That's going from 6 till 10. It's going to be
awesome. Night game. It looks like day.
It's a night game, but dude, it's so bright out there. It's ridiculous. They've got rentals and then Sunday walk on. So if you want to go out and have some fun, Moncton Paintball is a good spot to go. So we're going to just knock that part out of the way due to business.
Oh, and sorry, 1 second, real quick. Just for anybody tuning in on 97.9 CHSR FM and you have no idea what I'm ranting and raving about, don't worry, it's okay. You can learn as we go, or come find us on the socials and ask some questions. If you're like, hey, what were you screaming into the microphone about? I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna scream. I'm not gonna yell.
No, he's not. What's terrifying tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm the voice of reason.
Yeah, you are.
I am the voice of reason. Brad went and found himself a little article. He sent it to me.
I wish I could remember where I found it.
I don't know. I'd have to go look, but it's an article. So I'm going to say, we're going to talk about it. We're going to dissect it. Those of you who've been following on the socials, there are some passionate people out there. There was some. Brad and I have been giggling on all afternoon. I've been giggling at this. You guys are all amazing. I love every one of you. I hate gatekeepers. I hate them. It's just a thing, man. I have always been, like I said, I'm the inclusive. I want everybody to play ball. I'd like to think that no matter how hard you love Magfed, and boy, howdy, there are some of yous out there, and I'm not even talking about the ones in the chat. I'm talking about there are some hard ass Magfed players. And to those guys, I say killer. That's your thing. And that's awesome. And I love it. And I'm sure that if somebody walked in the door and it was their first time playing Magfed, you would be so nice to include those people in your game. I know you would. You might not like my hopper style. You might not like that I do open class, whatever. We all agree that we're playing paintball. We're wearing masks. We are putting little round spheres of paint into things called markers, and we are shooting them at each other. We all agree on that, right?
100%.
We all agree that gatekeepers, people who don't let new people in and set these ridiculous standards, are jerks. We do not.
We already got loads of comments.
I know, it's great. I'm getting this out of the way because once you start, there are people who are going to feel targeted, and it is not about you.
No.
If you feel that we are targeting you, that's your problem, not ours. Because I'm going to feel targeted in some of this because I like my Magfed and I love my Magfed only games. And I kind of see the perspective of you're playing Magfed. You're playing a Magfed only game. It is a story driven thing. We've been down this road before, but this article was so ridiculous and so entertaining.
We had to bring it on this non-serious show whatsoever, and I'm going to rip it to shreds.
Into the ground. So we're going to let him do his thing. I want to see these chats light up. We're going to go through some of the comments from Facebook because you guys delivered like I could not have asked for better. And then God help all of us. I think the phones might be working. So if the phones are working, if the universe decides, if Brad has sacrificed enough animals to get our phone system working tonight, I'll let y'all call in. We're going to have a timer on you, though, and I'm going to have to be the friggin' timekeeper, and this is awful. It's a punishment for me because I love to talk, as you can tell. So we're going to let you call in. because I know there's going to be some good opinions.
Oh yeah,
but
they're gonna fly in, but we're not calling. We're not opening the phone lines till later.
Don't.
Otherwise, this whole show is
boys.
just gonna be you people calling in.
And that's great, but don't screw us, please.
Yeah, we need like
we want to keep our show. We very much don't want to not be here next week. Station lady is awesome, but she will drive to Moncton to break my thumbs. Do us a solid here. So without further ado, Brad, what are we doing here
Let's
tonight?
go. Okay, so the article that I found, okay, it was written by a Mr. Courtney, the Coach Cotton. Giving you full credit there, champ.
You best give him the full credit.
Absolutely. From a team called Coyote Force. Where I found this article, I don't
know.
Look out,
Dynasty.
Yeah. Watch out, Dynasty. Coyote's coming. So Coyote Force, they wrote an article, and basically the article was is Magfed Paintball's CrossFit? And the article, I'm not going to read the article word for word. It's not very long.
You can find it.
You can find
on our Facebook.
Yeah,
it's there.
And go to their website. It looks like it's you know what I mean? It's a nice looking website. They've got some nice photos. I am going to crack a little bit of a joke about the fact that they're hardcore, like Magfed talking about limited paint and all that. And then in the photo they're promoting it with, there's a dude with a die-dam and a box mag. Just going to point that out.
I hear the Magfed scene just losing their stuff about that.
Yeah, right. There's already somebody like trying to find the phone number to call in right now. So anyways, the article is comparing Magfed to paintball. Here's the kicker. The article never refers to any other form of paintball. It just says Magfed is better than paintball. They never say speedball, rec ball, woods ball, X ball. It was just paintball. So the idea was, I'm going to read you the opening article here. The opening paragraph of the article.
Quote,
"It is not paintball. Magfed isn't paintball and should not be. Magfed is a distinct tactical sport, and it mirrors how CrossFit carved its own path out of traditional weightlifting. Both started as niche offshoots of larger, more established activities, but over time, they developed their own dedicated communities, skill sets, and philosophies that set them apart. Magfed isn't paintball. It's a different beast altogether, where every move, every shot, and every decision counts." First of all, I'm going to say, okay, fine, Magfed to CrossFit, Magfed to paintball, CrossFit to weightlifting. Sure. Right off the first bit, though, man.
I get a little offended at that. That's me.
Maybe comparing to CrossFit's not the best way to go, because everyone makes fun of CrossFitters, but I've never heard anyone crack a joke about an Olympic weightlifter.
Not where they can hear it.
Right? So, just that's a bit of, it's funny. Haha, poke fun. Okay, right? So, we're already seeing this, like, Magfed isn't paintball. Magfed is absolutely paintball. Magfed paintball is paintball, right? So, the article then goes into saying things like, I highlighted one here. I'm going to end up reading this article. I'm sorry. Similarly, Magfed shifts away from the gamey feel of traditional paintball. Sorry, I did air quotes for anyone listening to this. You can't see the air quotes. I'm sorry. Where volume of fire often trumps your skill set and focuses on real-world tactics and training. With limited ammo, magazine reloads, limited ammo, on that box mag? Sure. Magazine reloads and markers designed to mimic real firearms, Magfed challenges players to move, shoot, and think like they would in a real tactical scenario. It does not. I'm going to break this down real good for you. So here's my opinion on this. Real-world tactics do not work in paintball. You know why? Because a real-world tactic implies and is hopeful that your opponent or opposing force doesn't want to get hurt. If you're laying down suppressive fire in a real-world situation, the other person is not going to go, I can make it. And they're going to sprint. They're not going to take the chance. The Australian hopper. I love that. They're not going to. But in paintball, we will. We will take that chance. We'll be like, okay, the paint's coming. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, well, I could probably run faster.
I think I can make it.
I think I can make it. And if I don't, guess what? I get hit by a paintball. I go back to respawn. I come back and play more. Or I'm out for the match. So then I re-air, bomb up, clean my mask, and I go out and play again. Funny how that works, eh? So I'm sorry, I'm taking on a very condescending tone because I do not respect this article at all.
No.
So the other side of it, they are designed to mimic real firearms.
Again, Kaiser. I mean, you have a title. I have a title. We can't.
Oh, Andrew, we're gonna let you go, bud. We're gonna let you go. Like, what's this? Zach Joseph, Pepperidge Farm remembers this podcast used to be called the Maritime Milson podcast. That's the authority, by the way. It's true. This podcast did start as the Maritime Milson podcast because at the time I exclusively played Magfed. I did not own a speedball marker.
Are you telling me that you are speaking from a position of
authority? Yes. I've owned almost every Magfed marker except the Die Dam because I refuse to spend that kind of money. Now, Explore, you will never find those 10 episodes. They're gone to the abyss. I'm sorry. Now, as for trying to mimic real firearms, one, they look like them. Sure, the T15 is almost a 1-to-1, except for the barrel being, 68 instead of 5.56. Okay.
Alpha, nice to see you. Ryan,
what's going on?
Nice to see you too, buddy.
So so T15 is 1-to-1. Sure. The other in that photo, again with the article with the Die Dam and the box mag, were two Planet Eclipse EMF 100s that look nothing like a standard real steel firearm. Just going to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 out of the 4 people standing in the photo that they're promoting with, I'm just pointing out flaws in logic because this article annoyed me. So now I'm gonna poke and I'm gonna dig and I'm gonna jab. So 3 out of your 4 folks there are not mimicking paintball markers. You kind of missed the point. Bam. Anyways, AJ, I'm gonna get to that in a second.
We got some. Oh, what,
and then on top of that, they're going to say challenges players to move, shoot, and think like they would in real tactical scenarios. It does not at all. Simply because,
but we've been down this argument before, you and I. Because if you're playing if you're playing a game where if you getting shot can cost your team that dearly, that quickly, and you don't get that respawn, then yes. You do that. Those tactics do matter if you're really driving for that Milsim experience. Is that not right? Like, don't you not?
If you get knocked out of a 4-man speedball team, did you not just seriously harm your team?
You did.
Did you use military style tactics?
You're playing speedball. You're not playing Magfed.
Paintball's paintball.
Paintball's paintball, but different styles.
So when you're playing a Magfed only game, of course, you have people who have the mindset of, I'm going to shoot and move as if this was a real firearm. I'm going to role play. Yes, absolutely. But
that's what I'm talking about.
It challenges you to move, shoot, and think like you would in a real tactical scenario. Yes.
I mean, in D&D, I'm still going to swing the hammer and try to hit the giant monster. So I guess.
Right, exactly. Or you're going to try and seduce the dragon. Like,
listen,
he was pretty. It does not challenge anybody to do that. And now you see some of these people that they LARP, they live action role play. Nothing against it. I got a buddy of mine who used to do live action role playing with swords and shields.
I got friends who play airsoft.
Right, absolutely. It's LARPing, absolutely, 100%. And if that's what it is, and if that's what a team or somebody is willing to say it is, yes. I won't argue. If I come up to a paintball game and they go, hey, look, man, this is a Magfed only. Maybe they're not going to call it LARPing or live action role play, but they're going to say this is a Magfed only scenario, like story driven scenario. Like we're trying to make an atmosphere here. Sure. Fine. I'm not going to play.
Thank you. And thank you, Kaiser. It kind of does.
This article
that is what I meant.
No, absolutely. It really does.
I felt looking down your nose. Like I was trying to explain it earlier, like off the air, like what that expression I was trying to nail. And once again, man knows.
But then you got the thing of like a paintball marker does not weigh anywhere near as much as a real steel would. If you've ever carried a real steel, they're heavy. They're not light. You can get some really expensive real steel that's got a lot of plastic and a lot of composite. And yes, they are a little bit lighter, but we're still talking about quite a heavy piece of kit. And then your ammunition is heavy. The paintballs do not fly straight. You cannot, maybe with first strike rounds. I will say that first strike rounds change the game a little bit, actually a lot of it. But when you're playing straight round ball, say with, I don't know, a box mag and a die dam, when you lean out and you've got your hand at the end of the barrel, near the end of the muzzle, it's because you're like trying to hold for recoil that doesn't exist, and you take that shot, it's probably going to miss. Right? I was chatting with Nightmare. Now I'm talking round ball. I'm not talking. First strikes are a little bit different. You can usually hit your target with the first strike.
$2 a shot, so you better be slowly taking that shot.
Yeah,
really,
but like talking to Nightmare, who was for a time the number one like Magfed player. Like people knew him as the Magfed player. He'll dump a mag. He'll dump a mag to try and get one player because twigs get in the way, branches get in the way. That's the other thing. When you're talking Magfed, I can literally stand behind a bush, see you, flip you off, watch the paint break on the branches in front of me, and I could just dance a jig and be like, "What up, homie?" You know what I mean? So.
Alpha's kind of feeling me with the story driven, like that type. I feel like these guys, that's what they're talking about, is they're talking about a hard story driven game, like harder than anything. Like there was a dude in our comments that was talking about like out west and like those off the grid fields that was like hardcore Magfed. You've played some of that stuff in the States. I would love to experience that because I want to try all ball. I'm a tourist. I am an ambassador to the world of frickin', excuse my language, of paintball, to go and visit everybody and try to get out and try new stuff. And the thought of not doing that is just terrifying. So I like the idea of a good story. And I like the idea of me going out there and getting pooched and having to go back for the whole afternoon because I made a mistake. And I, you're sitting there for the rest of the day. Your day's done because you sat there and you got eliminated in the first few minutes. That sucks. But would that not
I have played some hardcore Magfed games, and it's never been like that. We've had insane. I played a game where it was 60 players on 60 acres. Where we spent 20 minutes walking a trail, and only then, like, we came under fire like it was an ambush. Like they waited for 20 minutes for us to come down this trail, right? So like it was hardcore. We had dudes with Star 12s hiding in the woods that we couldn't see them. It was good. It was hardcore. You got hit. You went back to spawn. You waited 15 minutes. You went back out, right?
Yeah.
The story, absolutely, but this article never mentions scenario play or story driven games. They just keep referring to using tactics, staying fit, thinking fast. Sure, I would love to see these guys go toe to toe with the Red Legion, who managed to do an 11-second point on a 120-foot long field.
I'd love to give those guys Magfed markers and see what would happen.
I think they play speedball the way they were, because speedball is the refinement to the point of that is the best way to shoot a paintball. You got to remember, speedball evolved from woodsball, which evolved from the original games. It's all, every step is an evolution and a refinement.
And there's nothing, and going to shoot target practice or doing target range shooting like Alpha's talking about in the chat. What do a lot of people do with their firearms in Canada?
Absolutely. I love target shooting.
Range and you're target shooting.
I love target shooting. It's so much fun. It is so relaxing.
There is no way that you can pick up a paintball gun with good intent in your heart and not do it right.
Yeah. Like it's
don't matter what the gun is, don't matter what, if you're out there to have fun, you're going to find your own way to have fun. Like sand through the hourglass, like water over the rocks, you're going to find a way. So again, nobody get your butt hurts tonight.
For sure. Absolutely. For sure.
This article is just like,
Yeah. They go on to say that Magfed is to paintball what CrossFit is to weightlifting, a more intense, skill-driven evolution of the original. I don't know enough about CrossFit to truly make a comment on that. I will say, though, a more intense, skill-driven evolution of the original sport of paintball, I disagree with. Magfed is not more intense or skill-driven. It is different. It is a different experience.
Yes.
It is not more intense or more skill-driven than any other form of paintball. If anything, I actually think it's less skill-driven than what we played at street ball. I think that's more skill-driven.
Nope.
Our level, not so much. But when you watch the pros play, there is
those guys have skills. I think that. Thank you, Kaiser. I think it's a different set of skills. Completely. It's softball to baseball.
I don't see the difference though. When I watch Magfed players play, they're not doing anything different than I would do with a speedball marker. They're running to a bunker. They're snapping back and forth. Maybe the difference would be how they run to the bunker. A lot of them tend to run with the marker up, and I tend to run with the marker in one hand and just sprint as hard as I can because I'm not going to shoot while running.
Yeah, I try, but I also roll the guns as I run, and they can hear me coming a mile away. So
yeah, and I don't see it. And again, like with Alpha's comment there, practice in my home with my Magfed markers, threshold. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Crossing a threshold
and cutting the pie. Sure.
Yeah.
That doesn't work if I power slide past the door. You're training, hoping that the other player will play like you. Now, that's where the story-driven side of this comes from. This is when Magfed is turned. This is when we're getting into scenario paintball, right? That's where I'm saying,
so
like, if it's it needs to be a solid distinction. Magfed paintball is paintball with a Magfed gun. That's it. That's the only thing. When we get into scenario where you're signing up for a game and you're understanding that part of the rules is that I need to play soldier, that I need to play army, and I'm not allowed to do dumb stuff like power slide around corners, and then sure, you'll never see me on a field like that.
You're signing up for it.
Exactly. You're signing up for it.
You'd see. I'm not gonna lie. I'd absolutely
get bored.
Try that.
I'd get bored because in those types of games, those are the games where the captain, the general will literally say, you need to sit here and defend this point for the next 3 hours.
If I would go to a reenactment. I'm one of those people that, totally. Give me accurate gear. Show me how to do it. Where do you want me to stand? You want me to be a soldier? You want me to be this? I'm there for the story. Win, lose, or draw. Doesn't matter if I'm on the losing side. That's the way it goes.
See, now if it's good story, sure. But again, we're getting away. This article never mentions anything about story driven, right?
Not scenario. Doesn't mention speedball.
No.
Doesn't mention anything. It just says Magfed. So it is really pigeonholing people who take a mag and load it into the gear.
So they go on to say Magfed is undergoing a similar transformation. It's building its own community and culture that stands apart from traditional paintball. I'll agree to that. It is. It's building its own community. In Magfed, there is a shared mindset. You're there for the tactics, the teamwork, the realism. No. In scenario paintball, you were there for the tactics, the realism, the teamwork, whatever. In Magfed, you're playing with a marker that loads with a magazine. You're playing because you want that kit. That kit feels good to you. Right? But when I play with my T15, I'm not playing realistic tactics. I'm out there in a t-shirt, and blue jeans, or boogaloo gear.
In the boogaloo gear. But again, we're not playing scenario ball. We tend, in the Maritimes here, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a whole lot of Magfed lads. And the guys we have, it's hard to get everyone together. And getting an MFOG game is just is tough. So we always end up playing open class. Yes, Alpha and those guys do rely on people like Brad and I to come charging through the door like maniacs and lighting us up. Absolutely, you do. That's what happens. It's part of the game. We understand that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tear past you and going dig, 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 I might get you 1 in 10, but that one time I get you, I got a heck of a good story when I come off the field.
Yeah. And yeah, he's saying that Alpha Twin 2, I managed to do a lot of sneaky at your field, just moving forward a lot. Which field is he talking about?
Commando, I think.
Cool. That field was so big, and there was 500 players on the field. You didn't sneak.
Yes, he did.
You were one person on a team of 250 people, and you managed to move up because nobody was paying attention to you.
Stop being a wiener.
Just saying.
No.
Now,
poke my finger at you.
Magfed is heading to the same direction. The sport is carving out its place as a first-class tactical sport with its own leagues, events, and gear. Yes, it is. And I love it. I love that. Go for Hill Paintball. I don't know what that is. Now, Magfed is doing the same for tactical sports, shifting it away from paintball's just-for-fun image into a serious, skill-based competition. Speedball did that 20 years ago. Okay. The camaraderie in Magfed fields is different. It's not just about competing. It's about operating together like a unit. Never mind. I'm not sure if I could say that on the air. And I
am already in the heat with the boss lady. And
that's why I was like, you could
tell her I'm sorry. Like that slipped.
I'm proud to say we have put our money and time where our mouths are and currently running one of the only Magfed fields in the United States, purpose built for it. So that's where this article suddenly shows its true colors.
Thank you, Zach.
This was written by a team who operates a field where it's only Magfed. You're only allowed to play Magfed at this field. Except box mags. Apparently those are Magfed. So fine. If that's what you're going to build a field that is exclusively Magfed. That's fine. That's your thing, man. That's your clubhouse. You do you, bro. But how do they make money?
Call of Duty. Do I ever? Yeah.
So they don't get many people. It was an advertisement. Lol. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. You got your own thing. I love that. I love that you've literally not only just like carved out a niche, quote unquote. You've literally built a field so that you can play Magfed exclusively. I love that for you.
That is, I would go.
That's cool. That's awesome. I personally think that is basically the paintball equivalent of a country club.
Second biggest waste to space after cemeteries, according to Rodney Dangerfield.
No, but I mean in the sense that you go to a country club because of what the country club offers, golf course or amenities. So you go to this Magfed only field for the Magfed. Sure. I like that. That's kind of a neat idea. I've never, you know what I mean? I've never been to a Magfed only field.
We played in a place like that.
Where?
NME. Just replace Magfed with Speedball, and that's what it was.
Yeah, but NME would let us run Magfed if we wanted to.
That's true.
These guys wouldn't let you run Hopper.
If they so again, you show up with a box mag.
Right. Now, a high barrier to entry. CrossFit isn't for everyone, especially those who aren't prepared for its intensity. It requires a high level of fitness, mental toughness, and commitment than a traditional gym routine. Sure, I don't know enough.
Meal Team 6.
The same goes for Magfed. Casual players used to blasting through cases of paint. There is not a single casual player who blasts through cases of paint in a single day. May find Magfed's focus on precision, limited ammo, box mag, and tactical play, box mag, much more demanding. The ammunition costs more in exchange for higher performance and precision, obviously first strike rounds. With shaped projectiles and ammo caps, box mag, Magfed challenges players to think like marksmen, not just weekend warriors.
Box mag.
Box mag. I have so many things to say about that. First of all, casual players do not blast through cases of paint. Maybe some do, but you shouldn't be. Nobody should. Like, come on.
Oh my God.
May find Magfed's focus on precision, limited ammo, and tactical play much more demanding. I'm going to say it right now. Most of the Magfed players I've ever seen look like me. Physically demanding, Magfed is not. Just saying.
No more so than any other game.
No more than regular paintball. What are you doing in Magfed that is more intense?
Oh, those guys that were carrying the ladders at PRZ.
They weren't playing. They were outside of the game. They were actually not in the game. They worked with the team or with the game organizer to do their own little thing in a part of the field that was out of play.
The Twiggy guys?
Yeah, there's Twiggy guys. I get there. But there's a reason why the term Meal Team 6 and Gravy Seals exists. Because dudes with my body type keep strapping chest rigs that are way too small for them onto themselves. Get stuff that fits, folks.
Yep.
like
honestly,
when
I
you see
gave
a
up
dude
wearing
come out
the
and he's
flat.
got a chest plate that is this big. And everything's just squished into uncomfortable
I was a large
ways.
lad stuffed in. You go look at my first year of a D-Day. I am stuffed inside, and you can feel like my neck. Like I was Meal Team 6, man. I was probably Meal Team 8 at that point. So
yeah,
no hate, guys.
Yeah, Ryan Bell. I've done it, but I've also been known to go full auto on empty bunkers. Right? Built for feed, not for speed.
Thanks, turret.
Plate carriers or corsets for dudes.
Guys are killing me. Thank you.
That's fine. Pod pack's like a girdle on me.
Oh yeah, same here, man. I put that in, I suck my gut in, and I feel so good. I feel so pretty after.
So I'm gonna.
Nope, it's still working.
They keep talking about precision and limited ammo. Okay, I'm gonna describe to me a Magfed marker without telling me how it looks. Just do it.
Okay. Describe to you a Magfed marker.
Yeah, but without how it looks.
It's it's very similar to a long rifle. It looks like something you would see like if in a bad action movie.
Yeah.
You play Call of Duty and you pick up an M4. That's what a TMC kind of looks like. It's got a mag on the bottom and a barrel
and the 4.68 and
the T50. They all require a little special kind of maintenance, except for the TMC. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Spit in it and away you go.
Hot tour, sir.
Okay, what I meant was, okay, a Magfed. They keep talking about Magfed ammo caps and limited ammo, tactical play, precision. Okay, so you're going out there, you're wearing a paintball mask. Okay, let's just say you're wearing a paintball mask. You're wearing some sort of outfit that is meant to get dirty and or match your terrain or situation you're in. You're playing a paintball marker that can only hold, except for the box mag, about 18 paintballs before you need to add more. Typically, it only shoots one ball when you pull the trigger once. Isn't that a 98 custom with a stick feed?
Thomas, stock class.
That's stock class. I just described stock class.
Yeah.
Limited paint, precision, slow rate of fire. It's stock class. It's pump. I just described pump class.
Yeah,
30 rounds if you got the T15 to bump your gut.
Yeah, bump my gut. TMC is the workhorse for idiots like the Kaiser and the King who don't know how mechanical stuff.
So right. So that's my big beef with the article is for that part of it is just like everything they're describing. If you just remove the tactical side of it is pump or stock class, like Walmart level stock class. So
okay.
They said in both cases, the barrier to entry is higher, but the reward is great. The barrier to entry to Magfed is not higher except for financially. I will say it is financially more expensive to get into Magfed. Now, once you're there, you're going to buy less paint, sure, but it is more expensive initially. You got to buy the marker. And then how many mags you got to buy? 5? Let's say 5, good round number.
Let's call it 5.
5, right? I know some guys run like 15. It's stupid.
Yeah, I'm standing by 5 is what you need.
Good round number, right? 5. So we'll say 5. So what's the average mag cost? $25, $20, $40 for certain ones, right? So okay, so we're looking at let's say $200. We're going to go on a conservative side here. We're going to say $200 for the mags. You need the marker. Say let's go low. Let's lowball it with a TMC. $300.
Okay,
sure.
Okay, so let's call the kit. Let's call your basic kit marker mag $500.
Sure. Yeah. So there you go. So you're at $500, and functionally, ignoring the aesthetics, functionally,
still no more than regular paintball.
Yeah, hear me out though. You then need chest rig.
Got to carry those mags.
Right? So you need a chest rig. Chest rigs, cheap one, $50. Expensive one, upwards of $400 or $500. Don't do that. $100, $150 max. So you need that piece of kit. So now but it's really no more than regular paintball. But there is that, like,
you do need something to carry your 5 mags. You need someplace to put the 5 mags when they are empty, depending on what.
I didn't even think of the dump pouch.
You need a dump pouch. Yeah, Andrew Kaiser pointed that out. You've got the sticky things that you need to load the mags with. Well, those come with some of them, but trying to think what else. Yeah, dump pouch.
Right, but yeah, so financially. So actually, you know what? I'm going to say financially, it's on par with when we tried to build an entire. Actually, when we built the kit, just off like napkin math, we also included a mask and a tank, and I think we came to $500, didn't we?
Oh yeah. For that speedball.
So then you still got to add the tank. You still need to add a mask, assuming you're brand new. If you're not, you already have your mask. So you're getting up there. Right, you're getting up there in price, like to entry. So it is financially more expensive to get into Magfed. I find.
There's your higher bar for entry,
right? But I don't think they're referring to that.
No,
you're not just playing a game or working out. You're testing your limits and becoming better at something truly challenging. Any idiot off the street can buy Magfed gear and go play paintball.
I've proven it.
I was going to say, and half of them are at Moncton.
Higher
skill level.
Magfed radio. Call on Ryan.
Yep, you're going to need a radio. Got it, because you're supposed to be on the phone on the horn with your tactical buddies, right? The higher skill level required for Magfed makes it appealing to a different kind of player, much like how CrossFit attracts those looking for something more intense than standard fitness routines. Magfed does not have a higher skill. I will concede and say it has a different skill. Because loading your mags, sure. Putting them in the dump pouch, sure. Putting them in your chest rig, sure. Different muscle memories, right? But then if you take that same player who maybe has practiced nothing but Magfed, slap them in a speedball gear, I guarantee you they're not going to be able to put the pod back in.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
How many times have you seen me with that double mag that I bought in my TMC and a pod, and I'm hot loading mags in a corner trying to get shot.
They're sneaking up on you, like, I hope they don't find me. Trying to wind your mag.
Oh my gosh.
So it's I think, and then vice versa. If you took like a speedballer and threw them in Magfed gear, they're going to stumble, right? It's different skills.
We've seen speedballers jump on the Magfed,
love it,
and they love it. But they
play like speedballers,
and it's hilarious.
And they whoop everybody's ass.
Guess what time it is?
Is it about that time?
I think so. Give Ryan Greenspan a Magfed marker. He'd smoke any one of us. It'd be hilarious, though. I think it's almost time. We're going to give him a few minutes to call in. I think you better do it now there, big guy.
All right, folks, we're opening up the phone lines because I'm at the end of this article, except there is one final thing. Ultimately, Magfed is to paintball what CrossFit is to weightlifting, a refinement, evolution, and elevation of the original sport that pushes athletes to new levels, introduces a new, more intense physical and mental challenge, and fosters a community built on shared values of excellence and grit. It is only mentally challenging. I'm not cracking the joke that I was going to say.
So, there we go. I've watched Tipex players are the most fun to watch play Magfed because they lose their minds.
Yeah.
They tear in like I picture NFT. Any one of those guys just come running in full on charging at you with a pair of Tipexes. It's like, this is gonna suck.
Andrew Gagnon, this sounds like 1937 German propaganda. Magfed is life, lol, for some of us because we have fun with it. But there is a cool factor for all styles of ball. Allow people to enjoy themselves and get better because they all need skill set. See you later, guys. Bye, Alpha.
Love you,
Explorer
buddy.
says, I've learned more playing speedball and have become a better Magfed player from it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have. I mean,
I've become a better player since playing speedball. Yes, absolutely.
So, as crass as this is to do this, I'm going to open up find my excellent, the list. I want to go through some of those comments on the Book of Faces, because there was some.
Yes, there was
really,
some pretty heated comments. So, folks, put in the comments. The phone lines should be working. Feel free to call in. Let us know what your opinion is. All right, let's see if I can do this.
You deserve everything that you get. Where is he?
Hold on. You're on the air. What's your name?
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Clay from New England Magfed. How you guys doing this evening?
Oh, it's a Magfed player. We're hanging up on you. No, I'm just kidding, bud.
Hey, how's it going, fella?
Didn't make it.
What's up?
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, not much. I love some of the points you guys are making here, and I felt like I just needed to call and weigh in a little bit because you're spitting truths here, and it's great coming from I know, coming from another Magfed guy. I've been hosting Magfed games for the past 12 years.
Don't validate him.
We've recently just kind of restructured what we're doing in the world of Magfed to be a little bit more inclusive. And King, I got to tell you, just right off the rip, when you said inclusion is the way to go, I have to say that is the biggest point to make in the world of paintball, because paintball itself is incredibly tribal, as we all know. It really is. It's one of those things where different groups, different teams, everybody has a different perspective on something, which is great. And that's how paintball should be. Paintball should be for everyone all the time. There should be no barriers to entry. Yeah, exactly. There should be a spot in there where different people with those different perspectives can kind of flex them. And I really feel like exactly how you led off this show tonight, inclusion is king. So
absolutely.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that very much.
I just want to point out
definitely
that as soon as you said that we're restructuring, doing inclusivity, all through my head was we're gonna restructure, synergize, realign. Just like all the corporate buzzwords came through.
But he means it. He's gonna make it work, and that's what makes it even better.
I love that. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for giving us a call. We appreciate it.
No, because again, what you guys are saying is true. It's absolutely true. And one of the things that I do have to point out, especially in the world of Magfed, is that since the beginning of Magfed, there has been it's a very niche part of a niche sport. It separates itself, and in its infancy, when it was first starting out, and a lot of the OG Magfed players can probably attest to this as well, it was a very, even more so, tribal type of interaction. I mean, you had redacted places that players were playing at most of the time, sometimes off the grid. You're not really, for lack of a better, outlaw ball. And that being said, I felt like it was, in its heyday, in its prime, very exclusive. And it was very cool just to have those types of interactions with other OG players that, again, they viewed this iteration of our sport, and I am going to call it a sport, as something very, very niche within another section of a niche sport. And absolutely. It was great. And for all of those OG Magfed players, I think that when we're trying to talk about how Magfed and paintball are, again, to kind of hit on this article a little bit, being the CrossFit of tactical sports, I think Magfed was at the time trying to identify itself as something different, something unique, something that players hadn't seen before, outside of the Milsim element, outside of the LARP element, as we're talking about here. And I find that, again, what you guys are saying here in the show is so pertinent, because we're trying to relive some of those OG days, and that's not really where we're at nowadays. We need to be more inclusive. So when I'm reading this article where I'm saying CrossFit, and we're making the comparison to like weightlifters and stuff. It's kind of a moot point to me because, like you guys said, it makes MagFed players seem a little bit snobbish, a little bit elitist. And that's not really, I don't think, the case. I think OG MagFed players playing at those redacted places back in the day, they have this sentiment that they've built over years and years of being a very small, tight-knit group that likes to play a very specific style of our sport.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you guys agree with that sentiment. I don't know if that's, something that you've experienced over, course of your time playing as well.
I remember being the first Magfed player to show up at a lot of fields. So I was there. Like
I was there, Gandalf, when the old Magic
was written. I was there when the don't speak the old Magic to me. I was there when it was written. It needs to. The thing is I think there might be a little bit of an issue. You brought up a good point, and I'm kind of curious about. I kind of want to explore this point. Probably not something we'll do on the air, but is there a possibility that maybe Magfed is going mainstream? It's becoming so commonplace that people don't care anymore. So some of these super hardcore Magfed players, the insufferable ones, are still trying to be like, look at me, I'm the specialist boy, I play Magfed. And that's where we're getting.
Is that what these guys are?
That's what I think we're getting is, well, they keep comparing themselves to CrossFit, and I'm seeing the insufferability of it as well. So is that a word? But I think that might be what it is. I think it might be a matter of like, I'm still special. Look at me. And everyone's like, dude, nobody cares that you play Magfed. We get it. Just let's go play some ball. We're sitting here for 15 minutes waiting for you to wind your mags.
Yeah, I you know what? And to that point, I got to kind of, in one aspect, I have to err on the side of the OG Magfed player when they're saying that they want to keep things the way that they were, because again, it came out of, I don't want to say left field, but since its inception, it's been a very tight-knit crew that likes to play a very specific iteration of, again, I'm going to call it our sport, a very specific iteration of our sport where they don't necessarily want to go, hey, look at me. They want to retain those feelings that they've had from the past, which to me includes a very high barrier to entry. And I don't think that barrier to entry is necessarily the gear. I find that over the course of time, Magfed is more cost effective than other iterations of our sport, in particular speedball, where you have a regimen, you're playing more consistently, your paint cost is increased. I mean, all the high-end markers are usually, a little bit of a barrier there. I would say the largest barrier are some of the players that want to keep that OG mentality. And again, I think you guys brought up a really good point. If you want to play Magfed and that is your jam, and that is exactly the one thing that you love about, we'll call it paintball in general, there shouldn't be anybody out there to tell you, oh, well, you're crazy. You're only playing one aspect of our sport. You're only doing one thing. Again, I find that to be a place, but to answer your question more directly, I don't think it's more of a look at me, maybe for some people it is, maybe, is it, what kind of drip they're wearing, what kind of gear they have, it kind of separates them. But I really find that that's not the largest barrier to entry in the world of Magfed. I think the biggest barrier to entry in Magfed is legitimately, the people that want to keep those old memories alive, and they don't want to have new players join their ranks, and they don't want to have that inclusion that King was talking about so eloquently in the very beginning there. I think that's its biggest hindrance.
That makes sense. All right, man, we got to let you go, but thanks for calling. You made some really great points. I love that.
Awesome.
Thanks for calling, man.
Absolutely. Guys, appreciate you both. Have a great rest of your evening.
Cheers.
You too.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so he made some good points.
This guy, Armando Garcia, this dude was on fire on Facebook, and he is that old school Magfed that they love their sport and they want to hang on to it, and that's killer. Like, that is a spirit. Like, I want to go play with these guys. These guys seem like hardcore Magfed players that I would just dig getting in there for a weekend. wild. And some of the memes were fire too. I sent you a couple. They were just giggling me ears off.
Yeah, some of them were good. There
Magfed.
was one comment that I really want to highlight because not necessarily that I agree with the comment. It's more that the comment made me laugh. I do agree with the comment though. Just saying.
Imagine only ever eating cold bologna your whole life and then getting mad at your neighbor for frying his. It's done.
Yeah, that's pretty
it.
much it. Let me see if I can find this comment that was made because it cracked me right up. And I don't mean any offense to anyone except the people who wrote the article.
Again, figured that was established.
Yeah. Okay.
What is Armando? Please tell
It
me
was Thomas
Armando.
Bork. Thomas Bork wrote this. This has to be the. So this is from Thomas. This is not me. I'm reading from.
Whoa! Not me.
Yeah, the other Thomas
Bork.
Bork.
One. The other one.
This has to be one of the most toxic and narcissistic reads I've ever come across in the relationship to paintball. It is not paintball. Magfed isn't paintball, and should not be. If you're shooting paintballs, you're playing paintball. Magfed isn't paintball. It's a different beast altogether. Wherever every move, every shot, and every decision counts. This is every type of paintball. Whether it's speedball, pump, or rec ball, the higher skill level required for Magfed makes it appealing to different kinds of players. Much like CrossFit attracts those looking for something more intense than standard fitness routines. Magfed is a higher skill. Okay, you'll have no worries about cleaning up at any speedball event. Move over, Dynasty. Coyote forces here. That got me. That
popped him.
The camaraderie in Magfed fields is different. It's not just about competing. It's about operating together like a unit. Wow, dude. Pull your head out of your butt. It really is attitudes like this that ruins the feeling of wanting to support certain niches within paintball. Some of us are trying to build when others want division. The move over Dynasty Coyote.
That was the one, man.
Got me hard. Oh man.
Goodbye. I want that shirt. Move over Dynasty. Shut up, Cameron.
Give it Dynasty's performance. I don't know.
Shut up, Cameron. You're not helping us any.
He's not wrong though.
I know.
Dynasty got
Magfed is doing this stuff.
Hold on, Steve Ross. No,
oh my God, Steve Ross. I'm so sorry, dude. So you were lost. So
there's an article you need to read. The Latin Saints, maybe. The Latin Saints still a team.
Another style of scenario type play with a more military style type marker. What is the outcome of any Magfed event? A local storyline based process. Again, if you're playing a Magfed game, y'all have Magfed guns, and nobody's using a hopper ball, no box mags, just magazines. That's a game of Magfed. Scenario, they've got more. They're a little more structured. They've got story, they've got missions, they got events, and certain things happen at a certain time, and they have allotments for everything. You're expected to play like scenario ball. It's just D&D with Magfed markers,
basically. What? Okay. So
again,
hear me out.
No shade. I love my D&D. I'm a barbarian myself.
Right. I've always wanted to try D&D. I don't know if my ADHD would allow me to. Okay. Derek, Joker, Cisco, Joker. Now I get it.
Cisco. Yep. This was another dude I wanted to thank.
It's definitely more geared for scenario play, but I still play speedball style at my home field. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So my question is, okay. They keep talking about like the tactical gear and the realism and the tacticalness. La 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 la. Does the EMF 100 mimic any real steel piece of kit, or are they just going to completely ignore the fact that the EMF 100 is literally a speedball marker that loads upside down?
Flip that second B in barbarian. It's bard-barian.
Ooh, I like that.
I have a high charisma, and I can also lift a car. Magfed is Magfed. There's Magfed elements that every LARPy
Magsim. It's a new one.
Beautiful. Another Magfed legend here, Jesse, I'd seen hanging around, which is just awesome.
Explorer, I can't read that comment on the air. Big C Montez, I hate speedballers, but I like my marker to look like a speedball marker with a magwell. Why do you hate speedballers? What's wrong with speedballers? I'm a speedballer. I'm also a Magfed player and a rec ball player. Hell, I've thrown paintballs at people.
We got one friend that my first night used a slingshot. I think when he says he hates speedballers, he hates the equivalent of what I've called the mag monkeys. They're just
So he
all
doesn't hate
about
speedballers. He hates jerks with speedball guns.
Yeah,
right. So you don't hate speedballers.
We get you, but I think we got to use that asterisk for that put a caveat. But there it is. Thank you, Cameron. Cisco, our buddy Wobbles, my first night, he uses a slingshot and he's domed people. So props to you for
we can't say
one.
that we're on the radio. Canadian radio rules. We have to be very careful of what we say.
I'm trying to behave a little more tonight. I already messed up.
And I didn't. I already dropped one and I feel bad.
So, hey, Katie. If the sock count, so do I. I don't want to know what you did to the sock.
Neither do I. If he filled a sock with like 15 paintballs and smoked somebody with it, that would be hilarious. CRTC is going to be out for blood. No, the studio manager is going to be out for blood. EMF is a mech that wishes it was Magfed. It's Magfed from Wish.
That's beautiful. That's so mean.
It's funny, but also at the same time, the EMF is probably the most efficient and accurate Magfed marker on the planet. Maybe the Star 12 could beat it in
easier to
accuracy,
run with my T15. I need to see that once in my life.
I'm sure it is.
Somebody
honestly, like you grab the T15, and you just run with it.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Now, that was the other thing about the fitness side of it and talking about how paintball is all gamey and stuff like that. I would love to see these Magfed guys go toe-to-toe with a semi-professional, not even a semi-professional, just one of the really good snake players from here in the Maritimes. Because those dudes, buzzer goes, less than a second and a half later, they're already sliding past the 50. Because they're that just, boom, they're gone.
I like I was just saying about, I want to see somebody dive into snake with a T15.
No, that's the comment. Javish, I wish Magfed guys would put half the time on shooting that they do bolting parts on their guns. Speedball guys play way, way more often, even walk on. Yes.
Cisco, I'm a great snake player and I don't even know a speedball gun. I have seen guys slide in a snake with a Tipman 98.
I've seen more guys lose their gun sliding into snake and having to literally scramble. So I get it, right? The Star 12 is true Magfed. The EMF is the single most popular Magfed marker in Magfed. This is the way. It's popular because it's the latest one. Let's be honest here. As soon as something new comes out, everyone's going to jump on board of that because that's how paintballers do. Yeah.
My God, what a night. It was one of those nights. We got a little heated. We laughed. We cried. We hurled. We're going to get...
It's popular because it's reliable. Absolutely. It's the latest thing, which means it has the latest tech, the latest developments, the latest designs on the inside, not saying on the outside, but like...
okay, yeah. He's SAS Wisconsin. That makes sense. That's why he was chirping speedballers. That makes perfect sense.
Gotcha. Well, Facebook needs to allow like asterisks, or not, but like italics, so that people can do like sarcasm in italics.
Yeah, if I could do italic sarcasm, it'd be great.
Right? Magfed is the latest and greatest type of crowd. I still shoot the second gen Tiberius T15. Right? That's boom. That's it. Like Magfed is hard on the latest and greatest. If you need a hunting scope to play, stop.
Stop, guys. You're killing me. We almost want to just end the radio show and keep on going on this chat, but
I would love to, but unfortunately we can't, not with this setup. So folks, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. For everyone listening on the radio over at 97.9 FM CHSR, thank you so much. Come on over, hang out, find us on the socials on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We also have a Discord. You can find the link on our chat or on our socials. Just look up Maritime Paintball Podcast. For everyone who's been hanging out, chit-chatting with us in the comments and whatnot, appreciate it. Truly do. This was a really fun show. If anybody, if this gets to the Coyote Force guys and they blow us up with like angry messages, we'll definitely let you know. I doubt they will.
They don't care about us.
No, they don't care at all. We put way more effort into this than they into writing that article. That's my final blow to them. Thank you so, folks. It's been a blast. Until next week. Cheers.
Toodles.